Good morning, afternoon. It depends on your time zone, I guess. Welcome to the first episode of Runners Wanted. My name is ZoeVermilion. You may know me from Retro Reboot. This is my new hotfix show, and I'm really happy to bring it to you. The purpose of this show is to highlight some speedruns that maybe have some smaller communities so that if you're watching the show and you see a game that you think is pretty cool and you didn't realize there was a speedrun community for it, maybe you learn to pick it up and make the community a little bit bigger. That's the hope, at least. And if failing that, hopefully you enjoyed the runs. But before we get started and I introduce our first runner, I do have a couple of announcements I'd like to make. This upcoming Monday, we have Community Spotlight for the Witcher 3 anniversary. And next week, we have two other new shows debuting. On Friday, we have Game Masters, debuts at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Tina's RPG Show, I guess. And then if you have questions about SGDQ, keep your eyes on GamesDoneQuick.com for upcoming dates. And just one more, we are going to be opening up moderator volunteer applications for the GDQ hotfix. That'll be later tonight, so keep your eyes on the Games Done Quick Twitter. It should be a few hours after the show is over. There'll be a tweet about it, and you can volunteer if you'd like to be a chat mod for GDQ hotfix. But without any further ado, our first game of this afternoon, this morning, whatever it is, I'm still very tired, is going to be Odin Sphere Leifthorseer, run by Demarine. Take it away, Demarine.
I thought I was running Pet the Cat in the Attic, the sequel to Pet the Pup at the Party, but no, this is going to be Odin Sphere Leifthorseer. I'm your runner, Demarine. I've been running this for about a solid year almost now. Getting pretty close to that point, and of course I'm joined by my commentator who has commentated multiple of marathon runs with this for this with me, which is Silverfire. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I don't actually speedrun this game yet.
I'll convince you yet.
I've learned the tech enough that I can talk about it, and mostly because Demarine's a great teacher.
Of course, I've done the thing that I normally am incapable of doing, which is putting the cat directly on top of the books, because I can't pick up the book, which is how you actually start the run. So, Odin Sphere is split into 5 storylines. We're going to do Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn's the introductory story. It has a lot of tutorials. It kind of teaches you how to play the game alongside kind of learning to run the game fast if you're actually learning the speed run. So I think we're going to get right on into this in just a moment. So I'll count us down from 5. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're going to skip all the cutscenes. It is not necessary to skip the cutscenes, by the way, for the speedrun, because the timer does not run. Those are considered load times, so you can actually watch all the cutscenes if you want to. So first piece of tech you'll see is I'm combining 2 button presses early on to move very fast. R1 is a dodge button, which was not in the original game, and then you tap jump right afterwards, and you just go flying through the air. And then we're just going to follow the prompts at the bottom. We're going to do it very fast. When I try to practice this run, this is actually what I practice.
Yeah, so these are tutorials for the different moves that Gwendolyn can do, and when you do the tutorial, like when you do the thing it's asking you to do, it goes to the next part of the tutorial, and there's a little bit of timing to like when it will start paying attention to whether or not you're doing the move it wants you to, and I believe she's even pause buffering here to get some of that timing correct.
I figured out the pause buffer. You can skip that pause buffer, lets you skip a spawn, so you have to kill one fewer enemy. And then we pause when the "this concludes" message comes up, because we can skip that message as well. But yeah, the game is just going to continuously teach us how to play it as we go along, which I always find kind of neat. It's pretty in the moment. All right, and now it's going to teach us about how to plant seeds, which is something we don't ever do in the speedrun. But we're going to do it anyway, because the game tells us to.
I believe there is one character's route that does intentionally plant a seed.
Yeah, there is one time in the entirety of 5 different routes that I plant 1 seed for safety. Because it costs me no time. Okay. We want both. We're only required to eat 1. We're going to eat the other one in a minute.
Food does give us a lot of XP in this game, though, and while we won't be planting more plants, we will be eating more food this game.
Yeah, eating food is our primary mechanism for gaining levels, and so all of that is kind of routed in.
We are playing the game on easy. The easy speedrun isn't really that easy because it just means that we end up even more underleveled than on like the normal route, for example. Because we can get away with being more underleveled, but a lot of the speed comes out of doing all of the tech and the juggling and getting ridiculous combos successfully.
So you'll notice I do a little short hop before I fight these. When you run this enough, you kind of know how many hits it takes to kill an enemy. These take 5, and your ground combo is only 4 hits long. But you'll notice that we get 5 straight swings when you are in the air. When you transition to the ground, you transition your combination back to starting the ground combo. So you can get upwards of 7 hits that way. Since I only need 5, we're going to do 5. And we're going to eat both of these fruit to get level 3. Because that adds a little bit to our attack stat. And we do want to hit a little harder. We're going to skip the healing tonic. Because we really don't need it. Butterflies appeared. You could absorb phosons. We're not doing that either. There's only one butterfly we ever absorbed from in the run in 5 different runs. That's not that one. Right, sometimes the enemy's guard, upon which you'll just need to do that, and use an up. You can use an up attack by holding square and pushing up to finish the combo if you need to. If the enemy's not dead, just to make sure that that you get them taken care of. Or you can do a forward stroke as well, which if it's setting you up for an exit, makes sense.
So setting up for exits. So like these maps where we fight are all circles, like, and you're basically, as you walk right or left, you're going around the edge of the circle. But the exits in this place are where those flags are, and like there's kind of an overworld map that kind of connects the different rooms. And so when she's talking about setting up an exit, she basically wants to be finishing the battle where the next place she's going is.
Alright, the game's going to teach us about Phoson skills, Cypher skills and Phosons and leveling up. And this is all really important. This is our other primary mechanism of gaining power. There's only a few abilities we need on each route. This is Ice Shot, which is actually pretty useful. We end up using it a ton through the run. When we get to Velvet, we'll talk a little bit about Stun Threshold. Velvet being one of the bosses. Alright, so this is going to teach us all about setting shortcuts as well. So I set Ice Shot to down and circle. It makes you fire it off once, and then this concludes. You can't skip this, but now that we have it bound, when we hold down and we push circle, it'll go off. We need to grab this potion. We don't need it right this second, but we'll need it for the next room. Right, but we're just going to take this enemy in the air and juggle them a few times. Came actually a little far on that exit. Just overshot a little bit. Right, and we're going to grab the equipment. The equipment that we grab out of treasure chests is not for equipping for the most part. Like the Star Pendant, for example, gives you 10% hit points, which is nice if you're playing on a higher difficulty or you need the health, but since we don't, basically I just grab it because we need it later in the game for other mechanisms that kind of come into play. And sort of understanding that these mechanisms exist later becomes really important. Oh, nope, that's bad. I didn't want to spawn that chest that late. Need the potion out of this box. Also, on the Gwendolyn route, you need all of the money. You cannot skip any treasure chests. We route the money really tightly, and sometimes we'll even come up short at the end and have to sell things. So we have to be very careful about that. Want to talk about the first boss still?
Yeah. So the first boss here, we're going to be fighting Belial. The main thing that we're worried about here is Belial can go underground, and if he does that, he stays underground for about 15 seconds, and we can't damage him at all. And to make matters worse, after 15 seconds and he comes up from under the ground, he can't die during that animation until he's all the way done coming out from the ground. That can waste an additional 5 seconds. So we have to be really sure that we don't let him drop the, that we don't drop our stagger on him from keeping this chain combo up. And,
there it is. He's about to go under. Oh, nope, got it. He rears back like that right before he goes under. And you have a very small window to get the job done. And if you don't get the job done, well, there goes all that time.
Yeah, there goes 20 seconds right at the end of the fight, and then you're sad.
Yep. Here's leveling up skills. Skills require the phosons that we've been getting. You can use them to grow plants to get hit points and experience, or you can use them to upgrade your skills. We're going to use them to upgrade skills only in this run. Needle Strike is our primary aerial combo skill. Basically, you do multiple thrusts in the air in front of you, doing a lot of damage and working up your combo counter, both of which are very important. But mostly we're going to use it to control enemies, because enemies that attack are moving around and therefore are hard to hit. And that's bad, so we're trying to keep enemies locked down as hard as possible so that they don't do anything. So Chapter 2 teaches us all of the tutorials about how to make potions. This is actually really important, because this comes into play in every route somewhere. You need to do some alchemy on every single route. I didn't grab the material first. That's fine. But you need to do a little bit of alchemy on every single route at some point. Usually for Chapter 7 for the epilogue, but there's other spots. Oh, that's weird. Right, but this teaches us how to mix potions, and that's important. We don't do it a lot because it's slow, but we do it for key things that are really important. Like key mini-bosses or key bosses that are otherwise very hard to beat. We try not to grab extra potions either, because our inventory is limited to 32. And Gwendolyn's inventory can fill up very quickly, which stifles our alchemy in Chapter 7, so we want to be careful.
Yeah, there are bag upgrades that you can get if you're casually, but they all require going out of your way, and we're not about that life.
Now, you want to do as few battles as possible, because you only get them in rooms where there are battles. And we are attempting desperately to avoid that. Fighting is slow. Alright, but that teaches you that you can use potions instead of materials to start your potions, which ends up working out very well a lot of the time. These I need to remember I don't need to jump attack, I can just walk up and swing at them. I want to run way to the right here, because all the enemies spawn to the left, but we just passed the exit that we want to leave through, so we're setting up the next exit by doing this.
And we actually want to adjust our position here so that you're not standing on the exit. The treasure chest that you want to grab is on the exit, because as you mentioned, you don't want to skip those treasure chests. You need that money.
Alright, here's our final potion tutorial. This teaches you that you can mix food, which you can normally eat for experience points. You can also mix it into potions to make the potions better, to make them level up. Also a very important mechanic. The better food that you get later on, of course, is worth more experience, unsurprisingly. But we'll upgrade this from a Healing Tonic 1 to a Healing Tonic 2. Game explains to us that, hey, look, it's upgraded, and we get a mini-boss. We're going to buy Needle Strike now.
Needle Strike is pretty much the skill you're going to be using almost all of your power on, power being that green bar up at the top. And it can also help you in the cases that you're juggling bosses. This isn't one that we juggle, just because it doesn't get off the ground at all. It can help you juggle bosses for a really long time.
You see, we just sort of keep the enemy constantly stunned so that it cannot attack us, because it's bad for us. We don't want that to ever happen. We get a piece of equipment here, which we're going to grab, because again, we need that for later. That was early. Okay. One of my favorite rooms in the game, the beehive room. We're going to use Needle while we're in the air to just hit the beehives. There's 2 of them. We use our forward attack, which is just hold forward the direction you're going in square to dash forward at an enemy. And it gives you a little bit of height. As you can see, we're just going to move from enemy to enemy. Bees have 1 hit point, and we're going to just finish off the room real fast. Trying to make notes for every room is really hard because, you know, every room there's a little bit... The enemies start basically in the same spots, but since they're moving around and spawning differently, we have to be... It's hard to, like, make notes for everything. So here's Velvet. Velvet's a very deterministic fight. We talked about the stun threshold. And these player versus player fights have very little stun threshold. So we start this fight the same way, which is we walk up and ice shot Velvet, and she will go into the air. And then we just do this combo, right? Hold forward, do Needle Strike, dash forward, swing, 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 swing. We want to delay as much as possible on those 4 swings because we need to regenerate 30% power. That's an overload. I'm actually just going to drink that. I dropped my combo, so I might as well get a little more damage while I'm here. See, this is what happens when you don't keep your stun and juggle going because she'll start attacking you. That's pretty bad. We don't want that.
It's like almost more, it's not so much annoying for like, we're gonna lose health as we're not doing damage as fast as we want to be.
Right, basically whenever you're getting attacked by an enemy, pushing square puts you in the block animation. Unsurprisingly, blocking doesn't do damage.
It does recover power, which can be a little bit nice. So the other thing a lot of these bosses will do, every time they lose a hit point bar, they go into a recovery state where they're pretty much guaranteed to recover from whatever stun lock you have them in. And a lot of times she's going to be trying to pick them up right after that recovery animation ends, when they're able to be picked up again, and she can start a new juggle.
We got a Blaze Potion there, which is very important for the next chapter. Again, there's a little bit of luck that comes into this run, right? What potions do we get? When do we use them? The Blaze Potion gets used on a mini-boss in Chapter 3, so we're very happy to see it. We get Assault High. This increases our damage based on the length of our chain. It is our second most important upgrade behind Needle Strike. Needle Strike's the most important because that's our primary damage source. Assault High is our primary damage multiplier. Right.
Let's get Fast Glide. It lets us fly fast.
Yeah,
glide fast.
Which is a little bit faster in longer rooms than doing the dodge jumps, so that's good. We take Counter Guard, which we don't ever really use like actively, but we need it to get to the skills below it, which increase our base damage, which is really what matters the most. The order of the lower abilities is very constant, like you'll level them up the same way every time. There is an optimal way to do it, so we'll start gliding. And then when you're done gliding, you hit square to do your dive attack, and it puts you right where you want to be. Again, any room that's longer than like 2 of the dodge jumps, gliding will be faster by going into it with 1 dodge jump and then holding X to start gliding. So, mini trolls, I tend not to mess with too much. I will just walk up and needle them, even though it is occasionally marginally slower. just because it is safer, because if they start bouncing around the room, they're hard to catch. So we just want to lock them out of doing anything. Also, you notice a lot of times enemies spawn in these rectangular rooms. You know how we said fighting is slow? You'll see I'm not fighting them. I don't have to.
We have some 1 HP ice elementals. They're mostly obnoxious because if they slam into you, while they will die on impact, they'll freeze you and make you slow.
Which is bad. We don't want to go slow. Going slow is not for speedrunners. We're going to get one more tutorial here, which is Mori's Touring Kitchen, which is the way in the vanilla game that you get, or in the non-speedrun versions, that you get a lot of your experience, because he makes food for you. And again, food's our primary way of getting experience. But food is slow. He's got cute dialogue. He's fantastic. We love him. This is the only time you see him in the speedrun ever. Because you have to. You don't get a choice. Like, he's got a long animation to show up. Cooking is slow. Like, if anybody can find a speedrun where we get to talk to Mori more than right now, like, please let me know. Please run this game and let me know. That would be fantastic. Like, I think the off-putting thing about this game is that it's a little too RPG for beat-em-up people, and it's a little too beat-em-up for RPG people. But somehow, I don't know, it works for me.
It's almost like you play both of those kind of games.
I do. I have also I have speedrun times for a couple of other RPGs and randomizers, and I have a speedrun time for River City Girls, which is kind of RPG-ish and kind of beat-em-up-ish, I guess. You do level up in that game, too. So yeah. Like, this really does kind of mingle the two. But this is the boss that we need that Blaze Potion for. But we want to hit... Frostben's weak spot is that glowing red horn on his head. So we hit the weak spot for massive damage because nowhere else takes damage. So we don't really get a choice in the matter.
This fight is, like, extremely obnoxious casually, and, like, she just handles it by, like, knowing how to just stay from constantly damaging that weak spot.
Mostly by just using Needle Strike to sort of hover in front of it. Gwendolyn generally has the easiest Frostbend fight of them all, which is kind of nice. And we get a Blaze Potion refund here, which we need for a possible boss strat later. That was really bad movement. For a possible boss strat later. And here we get our one hidden Phozon of the run. Or one hidden prism. This gives us the skill Link, which increases our damage every time that we use a skill in a combo. We only have 2 skills that we use, so we don't necessarily need to level this up, but it's just good to have. It does increase our damage. And it opens our menu. We don't want to open the menu ourselves if we don't have to. So it opens our menu so we can get our Assault High 2 before the next mini-boss, as well as Aerial Force, which is super important because it increases our damage by 10% when we're in the air. You'll kind of notice with Gwendolyn, I try not to be on the ground. Alright. Then we just do 2 dash jumps to get across that ravine, and we're in our next fight.
Pretty much every zone will have enemies like these griffins where, like, they're especially tanky and beefy enemies that take a while to kill.
So the annoying thing about mini trolls also is that they don't react consistently. Sometimes your attacks pop them in the air, sometimes they don't. So you're constantly trying to read the situation a little bit rather than just doing the same thing over and over. So this gives us an egg. You can use the egg in the vanilla in the non-speed run in casual plays to get chicken eggs, or to get chicken as well as more eggs. Again, that's very slow. We don't do it. We just use we'll use it for alchemy later. this for now.
The offensive potions are really powerful in this game, though, and almost every boss fight at this point will be using something if we have something available. A lot of times it comes down to like, or just making a judgment call of like, this is what I found, because it is a little bit RNG of what types of potions you find. Even though like, you will find a potion of like, of a certain quality from a boss, there's no guarantee like what kind of potion it is, so you actually hope not to get healing potions for the most part.
Yeah, healing potions are kind of the worst.
You can turn them into other types of potions, but that's about all you really do with them, unless like something is going wrong and you're taking way too much damage.
Right, so we're gonna do our one shopping here. We're gonna grab three loaves of bread, 3 hot cross buns, and 2 additional Saturn bangles. We do that fight over there for the Saturn bangle, which each of them increases the damage you deal and take by 10%. Dealing more damage is good. Taking more damage is irrelevant, so just speeds up the run. It's actually a food item. 2, 3, 4. So you eat in bulk with square, so you push square 4 times, put each of the rolls in your little queue there, and then you eat all 4 of them at the same time.
Can I get that bread?
Get that bread. You also get a little break here, which is nice, because, my old hands need the moment to relax. But yeah, gives you more hit points, gives you more stats, gives you a little bit of everything that you could ever want more. And we'll move
that was actually 4 levels there from those 4 loaves of bread.
Yep. Gwendolyn is generally pretty blessed by being a little easier on levels than the rest of the cast because of that Mori stop. Again, big trolls, like their little cousins, they are inconsistent on what they do when you hit them. You're hoping they fly into the air and then they don't, or vice versa. Basically, you always guess wrong. It's great.
You call them a little bit trolly?
Make that joke every time.
I make that joke
It's
every
a good
time.
joke.
Every time. Alright. So let's hope for fast break. We're hoping for one specific attack from this boss. This boss is invincible until you knock off 4 shields off of his chest. See, big zeros. Even with the crit. It's not the right attack. We're gonna jump over him because we don't want to get hit by the flamethrower. See, the first shield is off. We're hoping this is the attack we want, because if we deflect these hammers back, they break off shields. They're assured of breaking off shields every time. And that's it. That's the faster version of the fight. You hope you get that attack early enough that you can have this blaze burning on him while the shields fall off. Because the blaze, the burn will persist a little bit, which is great. Throw out this. Grab that extra toxin potion there. That's why we threw a potion, because we got a good potion drop, not a healing tonic. Right. And we get Icicle Wave, which we don't care about because we never use it. That's the one kind of uninteresting thing about this speedrun is that, of course, we use the best options and only the best options. So if you want to like be flexible and do lots of neat things, because some of these attacks are really cool, you don't get to see a lot of them. But the ones that we use are very powerful at going very fast. So we go to Chapter 4. Dad is basically... our dad, Odin, has basically bartered us off into marriage, which is awful because he's terrible. We hate him. And we're going to go back and punch Dad in the face. We're actually here to give him a ring that he needs to like win the war that he's fighting. But we also punch him in the face.
Chapter starts off with a fairly straightforward mini-boss.
That's a whirlwind potion. That's fancy. I don't see that every day. Whirlwind's a rare potion drop. It creates a big ice area of effect. A little less exciting for this particular run than it is for a different one, but you know, we will abuse that later on because hey, you know, rare drops and all, right?
Yeah, it's still really powerful, even if it isn't like uniquely appropriate for a specific boss that one of the other characters fights.
Yeah, it's still fantastic. Basically, now I can do really fast airship. Right. But yeah, the enemies also now are about healthy enough that you want to sort of end your combos with Needle Strike to kill them, rather than just trying to swing through them because they're just too healthy now.
You can also cancel out of the Needle Strike animation with Square.
No, with Dodge, with R1. With
Dodge,
R1,
sorry,
step dodge.
R1.
Yep. Sometimes I'll hit R1 and Square very quickly back to back, so it looks like I'm canceling it with an attack. I'm really just putting together the dodge and the attack animation near the same time.
Got it.
Also, enemies can't block from behind, so if they're blocking and you get behind them, well, enjoy your extra backstab damage, because backstab was the ability we grabbed before this chapter started.
Extra damage from behind.
Yep.
Interestingly, the grades do matter a little bit, but it isn't especially hard if you're doing the speedrun tech to get the S grades.
Yep.
But they do impact how much money you get from a fight.
Uh-huh. Like, thankfully, as long as you're not getting hit, you'll usually get your S grade, because there's a huge bonus for not taking damage. Like, I think that's the big thing. Like, and things like your chain length also matter, but if you're not getting hit, your chain is not gonna break, for the most part. I didn't realize I could jump through. Okay, well, it's fine. Cool, so we need to go to the bottom exit here because we need to get a key for a door later on. So this will be our first real use of teleportation. Basically, this room has a checkpoint in it, so we can always teleport back to it. So after we get our key, we're going to teleport back to this room. Alright, we're going to use the 63 to get just point skill link, because we want to get something. Every time you purchase something with foes on points, you also gain stats. Primarily the attack stat, which is important. Right, and this is Dwarven Airship, which has enemies that can occasionally make you dizzy, which is annoying, but you just want to get up and needle the balloons. After one health bar, a Berserker.
Oh, you're going to do that after the Berserker, right? That whirlwind potion you grabbed?
Yeah, I mean, I got a second one over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wild, huh? I didn't kill him. That's bad. We're going to land right here, and we're going to crack this on the airship, where it is going to do an absurd amount of damage.
Just keeps hitting in that whirlwind area, which is going to hit both of these airship balloons.
Yeah, one is
Also
broken.
that little pop-up that tells us that, hey, we can deflect those missiles that fly out of the airship back to the airship. It does a lot of damage when we do that. I think the whirlwind counts as deflecting them back.
It sure does.
So that was basically happening automatically.
And then we just use you hit the touchpad, and then you hit option to teleport yourself to the next room. So we're now back here, so we can keep progressing. Now, Whirlwind didn't save a ton of time because my other fights were pretty bad, but the Whirlwind probably saved a little bit of time there. And we're gonna grab grapes along the way as well. In this chapter, we eat them. In later chapters, we'll use it to upgrade potions. Because we are going to set up one more meal before the next boss. Because obviously, just again, experience is important, and how you get the experience is pretty tightly routed. Like, when I eat and how I do it is all pretty planned out for the most part. Sometimes you get a little lucky and you get a little bit of extra experience here and there from drops, but right, that's a Valkyrie leader, the one in blue. Just has extra health, much like the other extra health enemies we've seen so far. Also tends to move around a lot. Ooh, wow, I actually got a lucky chicken. I'm actually going to do my alchemy now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a yogurt. I'm going to actually use this. This is also an excuse for me to get all this extra healing tonic out of my inventory that I'm otherwise not going to use. This isn't optimal, but again, like I said, your inventory fills up on this route. It's kind of a nuisance. Did I get double chicken? Oh, wow. Those have a chance of either dropping chickens or eggs. Eggs end up getting mixed into that yogurt, which is a food item which increases our experience gained per food. Chicken is just experience. Like, we're just going to eat it. Normally it's a cooking material. You can use it for cooking, but, you know, in this instance, we are just going to use it to garner up some bonus experience that we don't usually plan to have in the route. I have never gotten 2 chicken in that room, by the way.
Much like the missiles on the airship, you can bounce those bombs back to the dwarves. They take a while to explode, so it's not always relevant, but it's really bad if they explode on you.
Yep.
Because it'll generally knock you to the ground and waste a bunch of time.
Yep. So with the double chicken, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and consume that yogurt, and now we're going to eat all of this chicken and keep those grapes for alchemy later. Right, this will get me level 17, though, which is a rare treat here. Not something I see every day.
Yeah, we're almost caught up with where the game expects us to be.
Yeah, which on easy is fantastic. Cool. Here's Dad. Dad's actually Brigand, who we fought in the last chapter. You killed him, because you are awesome, and Brigand's kind of a jerk. So you defeat him, and now he's possessing Dad because, well, you know.
He doesn't like you.
He really does not like you. Drop that juggle. I'm just going to throw the whirlwind now.
The nice thing about Whirlwind is it does actually kind of keep them in that area too by itself. Although we're still going to try and like push it back in the area if it gets out like it did.
Yeah, we're going to let Dad. Okay, it ended. That's fine. I do want that level 3 blaze. I need that for later, too. We need that for later alchemy, because we need to make a potion called Fire Spirits, which is part of the fire line of potions, which is Blaze, Volcano, and Fire Spirits. Okay. See?
This is what happens if you kind of don't pick up the juggle at the end of that recovery animation.
Yeah, if you don't re-juggle Odin, he can start jumping around. basically jumps off the screen and teleports, does diving punches, again, which you'll probably end up blocking, which is sure better than getting punched. Like, fights can get out of control very quickly, and there are some moves that are just so bad to see that they just waste a ton of time. Odin doesn't have any real big time wasters on this route, but he does have a couple later on. You fight Odin more than once, unsurprisingly. Cool, back to Old Castle Terrace. And now we're going to go save our friend in the volcano, so we're going to go into the volcano to save our friend. Because this is what we do. We're going to save our boyfriend. Again, sort of misjudged the amount of damage I dealt there. Left an enemy with 1 hit point, and the next wave of enemies won't spawn until they're all dead in a lot of instances. So you have to be very careful. There's a different sound effect when an enemy dies, thankfully, so you can kind of use that to your advantage. So part of what I use is a sound cue to determine that this enemy is dead. There's also a very subtle screen flash, like right around the enemy. So we're using all of these factors to try and... Oh, I'm at the wrong exit. To make sure that you've actually finished off your target. Right, but again, a lot of this ends up being how to glide to the right, and then, making sure, again, that in good beat-em-up fashion, gather up your enemies, and remove them from the field in the most efficient ways possible. Did not hit that. These explode when you finish them off, they'll explode after a few seconds. You cannot block the explosion. It just pierces your guard and does about 200 damage. So getting hit by it is extremely bad.
Yeah, we are. If we were running this casually, like, you might have around 1,000 health or more by now. Oh, we're not even at 400 yet, so yep. That would put us in serious danger.
Yeah, you level up a lot more casually.
Because you actually stop and eat food casually more than, like, once ever during the run.
I got another whirlwind drop. That's 3, by the way.
2 lucky chickens and 3 whirlwinds.
Why am I not running Cornelius today? 3 whirlwinds on Cornelius is the dream. Here it's okay.
Good still.
Not complaining.
The other characters, Cornelius does have a boss that you specifically want to have multiple high-powered ice elemental damage potions.
Yep.
Of which Whirlwind is the better.
Oh, yeah. So there's a locked door that we need to get through again, so we're going to go this way to get the key at which the blue lantern. Yeah, this room, of course, introduces the Elder Salamander, which is a super healthy salamander friend. My inventory is full again for some reason. I don't even know how I did that. so I'll just do my food now. We do a little bit more food here because we can, but we make another yogurt because we have the materials to do it.
You have those bones. That probably doesn't help your.
Oh yeah, that's right. When you eat chickens, you are left with a chicken bone. I forgot about that.
It doesn't happen very often because you don't usually get this much chicken.
No. So yeah.
And this shrimp, which is a lot of XP.
Yeah, which we're gonna take advantage of.
This boss that is totally not riding a chocobo has some pretty dangerous attacks that we need to make sure we don't see. In particular, one of the attacks that it uses at low health creates a giant volcano geyser in the ground, and it splits the battlefield in half. And dealing with that is really obnoxious and slow.
Did you know that freezing this boss is extremely efficient, though?
Freezing this boss seems to solve all of those problems. Just turn it into an ice cube. It's almost like these fire bosses are like weak to ice or something. Or the freezing status effects.
It's almost like this is an RPG.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do that to just you put the chocobo on total lockdown that way. And since we've got the lamp, we'll just teleport back to this spot here, and we will open this door. And then we will go to the end. And so this is the door that you need the blue flame for. So it's all like, use your key, blue flame, pop door open. Do I have a toxin potion? I do, I have 2. Okay, we're good. Welcome to Tiny Dragon Run Killer.
Hit me.
It's your favorite boss. Please talk about this boss, because I'm going to concentrate for a minute.
So this boss, Leviathan, is particularly obnoxious because it doesn't have its juggled state is really hard to achieve, and there's that crown on his head, which we're going to knock off. If it picks up that crown again, then it gets some immensely powerful attacks, but not only that, it starts moving around a lot, and it's just hard to keep up with it and continue pumping out the damage on it, in addition to it suddenly having a bunch of moves that hit like a truck. One of which can literally one-shot us. So yeah, we knocked off the crown there. It just has the eggshell on its head now. But we are going to start really chucking out all of the damage on it because we want it to die either before it picks up the crown at all, or if we can't manage that, right after it picks up the crown before it starts going haywire and flying all over the place. So it's really difficult to achieve the juggle state on this boss, like we have right now, where it's in the air and not in control of itself. If we can manage that, keeping that up for a while, then it makes the rest of the fight a lot easier.
I think we got it.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna get crown skipped entirely.
Nope, I'm gonna drop it actually, because
Oh, you didn't get it after that last ice shot. Oh no.
That's fine. That ice shot's actually gonna finish it, which is fine.
Yeah, so you can see it started to run away and go grab the crown off the ground there when it's low health, and that's what we're afraid of.
Yep. Also, all those extra potions I had, I threw them out there because you just want to dump as much damage as you can there. So having extra potions there is good for just going right through that boss.
Friends in chat that you'll appreciate. This is the Marvel 2 of side-scrollers.
Yeah, there's actually a trick in a different route that I've just named the full Marvel because I can name all the tricks in the routes because I have the world records. So I've taken to naming them. But there is one character that I have. There is a tech called the full Marvel where you go through a full chain, let them drop out completely. Then Oswald transforms, picks them up off the ground, and does the exact same combo a second time. It's about as close to an infant as we get. So it is time for the emergency food stop. Because I need more experience. But yeah, this is very Marvel a lot of the time. A lot of air juggling. But this actually has dropout protection, unlike Marvel 3.
It does have dropout protection. You've just been really good at hiding that fact by picking them up right at the end of the dropout protection.
Yep. Nope. So we spend all of our gold here. We don't care about the silver. The silver doesn't give us enough experience to really be worth it. So we just want to spend the 5 gold that we have here to get experience. We'll get 26. That's super good. She's adorable. The chefs are all adorable, and we see her very briefly in a couple of different routes. But yeah. So yeah, so there's a lot of beautiful combo mechanics in locking out enemies and full stunning them and not letting them play the game like this were actually a fighting game. Which is why you should run this game, because if you like really good tight beat 'em up mechanics, this is such a good game. Like, the combat is super smooth, the graphics are super smooth. And if you have like a PS3 or a Vita, you could play this also, because since we use in-game time in the community for timing, the load times don't matter. The load times get cut out by the game itself, so it's fair for everybody. Which is just, fantastic in every way.
Yeah, the in-game timer is very, very accurate, and it's pretty nice for that reason.
That's a hard exit setup, so I usually don't go for it. It saves a couple seconds, but does require a real thought about getting there. That one didn't die. So bad. Boop. Also, the soundtrack's really good. I don't really get the opportunity to listen to most of it because I'm really concentrating and focusing, but like, musically, great composition, great sound, just everything is real good in this game. Right, we're skipping most of the storyline. All those books don't count towards your load time. The timer's actually running in those screens, so I try to get out of them as fast as possible. By the end of this chapter, we want to have 525 gold.
We're currently at 439, and the reason that we want 525 is because we're going to be picking up some accessories that increase our damage, both dealt and received, even more. And not only do they increase damage dealt and received, they also increase damage dealt when based on how low your health is. And really, it just kind of makes our damage shoot up through the roof.
Oh wow, that's such a bad spot for that juggle.
Oh, because you pushed it to the ground, and when enemies are knocked down on the ground, they actually take reduced damage.
Yep, they take about 50% damage. So this room, I actually missed the exit I wanted to go through. We're going to go through this exit first. This is the next room we need to go to, but we're just going to tap that room because we want to teleport to it. It has a teleporter in it. We go in here. This makes us tiny, right? Your body gets miniaturized, which lets us go through small doors. And then we just hit triangle to remove the dwarf state. And boom, we're back out and we're ready to fight again. That was really bad. Oh, it's supposed to be a bottom exit. Right, this is down. This is the one part where you have to set up down exits, and so I almost always constantly go right because it's usually faster. In this chapter, going left is almost always faster. And I always have to remember that. You can't tell I'm a little nervous right now.
Remember this time.
Yeah, but this room's so long that if I can't set this room up, like, there's something I'm not really thinking about it at all then. Yeah, this room is pretty free. This room's very long. It's got multiple waves of enemies. That elf, an elf healer will show up eventually, and can heal all of the enemies in the room. And not for a little bit. Most of them get healed to full health.
What you're saying is target the healer?
Yeah. There is a summoner as well. Summoners summon elementals, which is really annoying more than anything, but, like, dealing with elementals while trying to go through the room quickly is a little annoying as well. Thank you for popping out in the right direction so I don't miss my exit.
I didn't see the healer pop up.
The sage was actually casting fire magic for once instead of trying to heal.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of weird. Here's Mercedes. This is the other player versus player fight. Do I have a toxin? No, I've got a volcano, which we'll throw out here.
So much like the Velvet fight earlier, this one's a little bit trickier, particularly because she flies and doesn't have a grounded state. It's a little trickier to juggle her than some of the other boss fights. Also because she's small.
Oh, wow.
Also, like... Oh, yikes. That's not the tutorial message we wanted to see happen. And you actually have to mash your controller to break out of that freeze. That's yet another reason that this boss fight is a little obnoxious and a little hard to deal with, is like those swarms of elementals are coming at you from obnoxious angles.
Yep.
Gotta kill the healer too. Because that healer will also heal the boss.
Yep, but we're going to take advantage of the fact that usually 2 to 3 ice shots will take Mercedes into juggle state anytime. Basically, we'll put her into stun state. So we're going to try and take advantage of that.
And we do have to be a little bit careful not to use all of our ice shots, because they do use our Phozon power that only comes back when we absorb those little purple things, which we're never really taking the time to go out of our way to do.
Wow, I almost died there. That would have killed me.
Yeah, if we hadn't iframed through that that shot that Mercedes was charging up,
I would have died. It would have done more than 130 hit points of damage. So yeah, sometimes you play it close to the vest because, you know, in the late game you can get pretty in trouble with damage. So you do have to be a little careful. In later routes, I actually do route healing potions for safety, because some bosses hit so hard that if you make a mistake, you can just out and out die. That's no good. We don't want that. Alright, and now we're at Epilogue. So, do I have 525 gold? Let's find out. 566. Wow. Okay, more than enough.
these Mars Bangles both increase damage dealt, damage received, and also damage when health is low.
Yep. We're going to do a little quick alchemy here just to get some stuff out of my inventory, but we're going to use 2 pieces of equipment with a level 6 material to make a 6 overload. Overload just gives us a massive temporary damage boost. I'm going to use 5 of these here, just to get it out of my inventory. But we are going to use that to our advantage later on. And then we are going to go to world map. And we're going to do a little more alchemy. It's a little inefficient to do the 2 separately, but sometimes you get in spots where you don't have the inventory space, and I do want to pick some stuff up later on. So welcome to the land of the dead, the netherworld. Did not kill that enemy.
This area has some pretty obnoxious enemies. Some of the types of enemies here only can be damaged if they're either lit up or in the process of attacking you. I'm not sure if we actually have to mix a shine potion or if we can just
You
find them.
You pick up 2 for the 2 rooms that you need, thankfully, but the game teaches you how to make them. They also do a lot of damage to the undead as well if you have extras. Usually don't have extras, but see, this box has one. And the game teaches you, hey, right, ghostly enemies show up. When they're incorporeal, you can't hurt them, but if you have light on them by throwing a shine potion, you can hurt them, and then they become active.
We're pretty much going to throw one, and we're going to just try to fight in this light area.
Yeah, the annoying thing is I kind of got a little out of control there for a sec and left the light, and
then some of them wandered away from the light too.
Yep. I'm gonna grab this food for alchemy purposes. So just a double jump there to get over them, because you can't glide until you're over them. So the big thing now is, do I have enough materials to make the potions I need to finish this run fast? Or am I in backup strat land here where we don't want to be? But we're gonna do a little alchemy right now. Okay, we have a glaze potion. We're gonna combine with we have 3 habaneristos. That's perfect. Cool. So we are not gonna end up in backup stratlandia here. But we're going to make a 6 fire spirits, and then we're going to use this level 3 material, along with 2 habaneristos to make fire spirits. Use up this other bit of food that we have that we're not using anyway. We can make this one a level 7. That's beautiful. That'll be real good for the final boss. Those 2 potions together are the best boss killing tool that you have, basically, especially when you're under-leveled.
The overload just increases your damage significantly. The fire spirits put 3 little balls of fire around you that just constantly deal damage, and they last for a while, especially at these higher levels of fire spirits.
Yep. It increases the damage they do as well.
Yep, and also they get that chain counter counting really fast, which, thanks to Assault High, also increases our damage. This boss teleports randomly. It's a little obnoxious. For Gwendolyn, it's not as obnoxious as for some other characters, because other characters, like certain moves that other characters do, will force the boss to teleport.
So the boss won't teleport at the end of a health gauge if in the middle of an attack motion, which this boss was, so that's good, but I took a lot of damage doing that.
Yeah, in order to continually pump out damage, just deliberately letting our health drop, which is actually fine because it also increases the damage we're dealing. We just have to be a little careful not to die.
Like, we honestly have to be a lot careful to not die, but... But we get the key that we need for this door, so we're gonna use it here. Also, that Fire Spirit 6 lasts forever. We're gonna just pop this chest open with Fire Spirits, grab the other shine we need for the next room, for 2 rooms from now. We're getting close to the end. We have 2 more fights and then the final boss. For whoever's running the timer, time will be on the last hit on the last boss. I still have Fire Spirits. What is up with this? Well, this room's just gonna die because, you know, I still have Fire Spirits. That's new and different and nice. There's a little temptation to make like an 8 or 9 Fire Spirits for that fight now, if I can finesse it. Because holy heck, that was nice. Alright. Glide through this room. Those enemies don't spawn fast enough for you to not get your glide off low, which is good. This is the other room we need the light for. I'm going to throw it near the exit that I need to be at, though. So we get our exit set up here. We're going to do that. Right, and as these enemies spawn in, the Lady Geists are invulnerable until you either deflect an attack on them or get them in the light. There are candle-bearing enemies, or candle-bearing units around the field as well, but we don't want to count on that. We don't have to.
As light. They do count as light as well.
Yeah, but...
They kind of like wander aimlessly and they're not really reliable.
Alright. We're going to take a safety here. We're going to grab this last food and eat it. So I don't accidentally die.
It gives us a little finish up this level as well as fill up our health bar.
Yep. It'll reduce our damage output on the last boss, and if I were going for records or I was running PBs, I would not do that. I would just run the lower health, but I don't want to drop the run here. Like, you just go back to the start of the fight if you die, but you lose all the time you poured into it. You don't even lose any potions. Your state resets back to where it was at the start of the fight, but I don't want to tamper with it. I just want to finish here successfully. But this is Odette. Odette has a bunch of really dangerous attacks. She spews fireballs, she'll spew poison, she summons enemies. Every health bar she will teleport.
Yep, she will always teleport at the end of a health bar. That's kind of like her forced recovery mode.
Yep. She doesn't juggle, she doesn't stun out, she just teleports away from you.
It's fortunately not RNG based at all. But it is something you have to play around.
Yeah, it means that it also means you don't get any assault high chain because your chain drops every time she teleports because there's no enemies usually.
Yeah, the rare time that she does summon enemies, they'll probably just die to the fire spirits we have floating around. So that was a little bit of an RNG time loss where she chose that particular attack.
That's actually the better RNG time loss, because the other one she charges across the screen and is invulnerable the entire time. So there's actually a worse attack than that. She does one of the two every time. Hit your spider kick. Which is the attack we want to see here, because now we can just... stay poisoned, which will regenerate our power very slowly.
Yeah, taking damage, even just from a dot like poison, does recover our power gauge.
Almost time, by the way.
Once this last health bar goes out, that will be time.
Not bad. I'm in at 104 again. I'm very happy about that. We use RTA. We don't use RTA, we use IGT. It's about a minute difference in this route. So we're going to skip this. We're going to get out of this menu because our timer's still running a little bit. But yeah, it should be about a 104.30-ish. 104.3x. World record's 104.06. So, 30 seconds off isn't bad. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is awful, as always.
Well, GG's, Demi. Thank you so much for that run, and thank you, Sil, for the wonderful commentary.
5-2. Okay, not bad.
So, Demi, if anybody in chat or maybe watching the VOD later on YouTube is interested in running this game, what would you suggest for a new runner? How to get started?
Play the game casually, kind of get used to the controls. Just because, again, starting to chain together attacks and everything, it kind of comes from just experimenting with it and playing with it, because the system is really neat and really smooth, and it's basically 2-button combat. There's an attack button, and then you bind up your special attacks to circle, so it ends up being real smooth 2-button combat, but getting used to that can take a little bit of time. And otherwise, it's just kind of get used to juggling and blocking out enemies, kind of getting used to the fact that, you'll learn the RPG route as you go along, learning when to, equip equipment or eat food, but really getting used to sort of how to fight bosses, because that doesn't change, right? How to stop a boss from attacking you, like with Velvet. Like, you start the fight the same way every time, so getting used to, like, hitting her with Ice Shot, taking her to a juggle, going through and, you know, working the juggle out to the end, letting her recover, hitting her with Ice Shot again, and kind of getting into, like, understanding the loops to do damage to each of the bosses. The Gwendolyn bosses are all the easiest bosses possible, usually, so it's why it's a really good starting run, and it's also why it's the first run.
Awesome, yeah. Well, and then you were writing some notes for this particular route too, yeah?
Yeah, I've thrown them up on Google Drive, so I just started that, so I need to get that over to the Discord as well. The notes are incomplete, like, I'm trying to, like... Because the notes, like, I'm trying to involve both combat, like, the RPG side of it as well, like, when do you eat? When do you take skills? Like, what do you do in each of the rooms in the game? Which is all stuff that I don't think about anymore, but, like, I know for a new runner they have to, like, kind of think about that, kind of understand, like, why am I doing X in room Y? Like, why am I eating food here? Why am I making this yogurt? And so on. So, kind of explaining that and getting that process on the page has been real challenging, because I'm not good at that.
Well, it's always fun watching you run this game. It's definitely one of my favorite speedruns to watch. So thank you for showcasing this for the very first run of Runners Wanted. Yeah, thanks so much. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go to a quick break while we get set up for the second and final run of the day. That run is going to be Quest RPG Brian's Journey, run by Rhea Skies, or Starlord Rhea. You've seen her in the chat. She likes to call this an enhanced demake of Quest 64, so I'm excited to showcase that. But before we do that, I do have to just make one quick announcement. And by announcement, I mean just letting y'all know that Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions, so please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. We would really appreciate it. But we're going to go to a quick ad, and we'll see you on the other side. And we're back! Welcome back, everybody. We are going to get right in here into the next run. We have Quest RPG Brian's Journey. It's a Game Boy Color game. It's in the Quest series, quote unquote. I'll let Rhea do most of the explaining, because she's way better than I am. So take it away, Rhea.
Okay. Well, unlike in Quest, so Quest RPG is what I call an enhanced remake of Quest 64. It came out after Quest 64, and it's a retelling of the story with some added plot and story and some mechanics changes, etc. But without further ado, because there is some text to go through at the start of the run, I don't really feel the need to dawdle on the title screen, so I'll just go ahead and give a 5 count and we'll get going, if that's all right with you.
Yep, go for it.
All right, well, we'll begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So we have to hold the A button to advance through the little intro stuff. And now we're going to meet Brian. So also I have to tell you, in the Japanese title of this game, when translated directly, is Elemental Tale: Jack's Great Adventure, Demon's Counterattack. And while that has absolutely no significance whatsoever to the plot of this game, it is really awesome, and if I don't mention that at some point, I will feel really bad that I did not do so. So yeah, I just I had to bring that up. So anyway, we see Gabriel and LeVar. LeVar actually shows up in Quest 64. Also, Bart is actually here before the very end of the game. Another change. So we're just mashing through some text. There's really nothing going on. So we're gonna get summoned to see Sirius, and Sirius is gonna mention, "Oh my gosh, something bad happened. A book got stolen by LeVar and Gabriel. They stole one of the Grand Abbot's books, and that would be really, really bad if that book were to find its way to some unsavory fellows, because they would learn about magic, and that would be really not cool." And so Sirius sends Brian off to go investigate for news about what might have happened with the book. Something, you're the chosen one, something magic, something plot. And now we actually get to move on. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to head over off to the left. We're going to go here. And we're going to grab this spirit. And oh my gosh, I just put this spirit into wind. If you are familiar with Quest 64 and the general idea of the speedrun of Quest 64, you would know that wind is absolutely useless in that game. And they realized at some point that wind was absolutely useless in Quest 64, and they kind of went a little bit ham on the whole rebalancing it, and maybe went a little too far to make wind good. So we're going to grab a couple wind spirits, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to meet our good friend Tim, the Dark Lord. I know, you have a great evil Dark Lord named Tim. I can't imagine anybody doing anything like that. He's got 20 health, so we're going to fire 3 Blast Wind Cutter, which can be either 5, 7, or 8. Oh, okay, we got the KO in 3 hits. And we'll get another spirit here. So Tim vanishes off. And Brian's like, hey, I should probably go let Sirius know that there's some weird guy who's gotten all demonic possessed and is trying to kill us. So I'm going to go back and report to Sirius. No word on whether we're also going to report to XM. Just Sirius mentioned right now. Sorry, my lame attempts at making some sort of a joke. You will realize that I make a lot of bad puns and jokes, and
I appreciate them.
But in any case, after this, we go let Sirius know, and oh my gosh, the Grand Abbot summons Brian. So we got to go see the Grand Abbot. The Grand Abbot's like, hey, I had a vision. I'm not going to tell you what was in that vision, but you have to go on a quest. So you have to go. I'm not going to tell you what awaits you. So tell Sirius and ready yourself for quest. Now go. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over here. We're going to pick up a Spirit Gemstones. We need to get 7 of them for the Lottery in Lineland. That's going to become important in about an hour. There's Brian's mailbox. We'll make note of that for later, because we'll actually have to go back to the mailbox. Now we're going to pick up a few more items. It's actually easier. It's actually saves a little bit of time to get this treasure chest from the side like that. And we'll pick up another Spirit Gem. Oh. Well, it's not really the sequel. It's a retelling of the story. So it's the same story, more or less, just with added plot stuff. And we'll get some fresh bread and some honey bread. We've got a couple of dewdrops. Quest 63 plus 1. Now in glorious 8-bit detail. Alright, now we're going to head over. We're going to head to the wing shop. We're going to pick up some white wings, because they're going to warp us back to Mill Road, and we'll need to do that later. Oh, I need to talk to you twice. Quest 2 to the 6th power, but that's like 8 squared. But anyway, we're heading on to Dondrin. Oh, we'll take another fresh bread. Those are always useful to have some more healing items. It's going to basically follow the path. This is actually good. Oh my gosh, it didn't give me the attack. So I'd like to pick up 3 battle spirits along the way to Dondrin, so I'll have I want to have 7 wind going to Dondrin. When do I start catching Pokemon? At no point, unfortunately. Turns out that there are, in fact, other RPGs for the Game Boy Color other than Pokemon. Alright, there's Wind 6. Now we're just following the path up to Don. Following the path en route to Dondren. Just blowing everything away with our wind powers. Yeah, I'd say Pokemon's an RPG. Alright, there's our 7. Alright, now we're going to head to Dondren. This is the second town. We're going to be making a couple more trips back to Dondren later, but first thing we're going to do, we're going to pick up this spirit here. So we're going to talk to Thom, who's not the same as Tom and is not the same as Tim. We've already fought Tim, and well, Tom will show up later, but that's Thom. So we're going to go stay the night at the inn, because unfortunately in this game, we don't get our MP restored just by walking around, so we actually need to use items and inns and stuff in order to get our MP back. So next we're going to head up here. And we're going to follow this little path, and over here, there's a surprise spirit. No, wind is never used at any point in the Quest 64 speedrun, as it turns out. Like, it is the most useless of all of the elements. No, you go water into earth. Water for healing through the first boss, then you get the spirit cloning at that point, and then you start going heavy into earth for avalanche and magic barrier. This is Game Boy Color. It's a black cart, so it is backwards compatible with original Game Boy. Well, they changed it back before. It was always Water Earth before I started playing, so that would have been at least 5 years ago. I started Quest 64 in like July or August of 2015. So I don't know how long ago that was. So Solvering appears and like, ha ha ha, I'm going to steal Flora. Ha 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 ha. And Solvering's like, come get her back, but first you need to deal with these gentlemen here. It's actually Demon's Counterattack. The translation of that is Satan's Counterattack is actually wrong. It's actually Demon's Counterattack. So Scottford's like, I know that the whole book thing is a kind of a big deal for you, and I know that you're kind of in a rush, but you need to stop what you're doing and destroy Solvering. Not defeat, not subjugate, not bring to justice. You need to utterly destroy Solvering. And now we're going to go back to the inn. Yeah, it's actually Demon's Counterattack. Mammon's a demon, maybe even a devil, but not actually Satan. So we're going to head to the forest now. We've got some stuffs to do. We got to go destroy Solvering. And that fight actually might have been good for experience, but not a huge deal. Oh no! Look at some Heckers. Is this game good? I mean, it's decent. I'd say it's maybe better than Quest 64, but that's not a particularly high bar. So, take that any way you want. Alright, we'll grab the spirit. And we're going to head up here. Oh, I'm not going to fight the bats. The bats are wind elements, so they take less damage from my cutter, and that's no fun. I don't like when, same with the kobolds, so I don't like when they take less damage from my attacks. I only need to gain one more battle spirit before solving anyway. So I'm not going to do it until at least now that I have 12 wind. I have wind cutter level 3, and that just absolutely destroys things, as we will see in just a couple minutes. Nope, not going to fight the kobolds. Sorry. You're not wrong. That's like, truly, that's not a high bar to clear. Giant shoes is not good. Anything that's not an HP or MP restorative is kind of not something you want to see, because that just means it's taking up inventory space. Double Frog Knight is good. Alright, so there's our second spirit. Now I got 14 win, so we're good to go. Gonna head up to Solvering's Lair. Whoop, first a random. So I don't know how I get involved in running all of these RPGs that nobody else seems to run, but yeah, I find myself running a lot of weird RPGs that nobody has ever heard or cares about. Wait, that's not true. Paper Mario exists. I run that game. In fact, I got a 401 the other day. It's like I'm actually half decent. Oh yeah, Solvering's dead. That was an easy fight. Now Zoe's mad at me. Pretty much all I do. True, Paper Mario didn't come out for a couple more years. So we're gonna grab a healing potion, and we're gonna grab a hero string, which is an MP recovery. Grab this dewdrop, and grab this dewdrop, and this is our third spirit gemstones. All right, now we're done here, so we're gonna go ahead and take off. Yeah, I like one-shotting bosses with wind. Alright, now we're heading out. We're heading back to the forest. So first we gotta head back to Solvering's Lair, because there's a couple spirits that we need to pick up that we can't pick up first time. Alright, so first thing first, we're gonna head over to where Solvering's hut is. There's a couple of spirits over on that side of the... We're gonna head over towards... Oops, oh my god. Head over toward Dondron Flats, the next area of the game. Oops, grab this spirit. Yeah, the double man traps, not man eaters, not hot lips. I always get man eaters and man traps confused. Man eaters are the mudmen enemies in Holy Plain, and man traps are the flowers in the First Forest. So I just need to grab this spirit over here. At this point, we're just grab those couple of spirits, and now it's time to head over to the other side of Connor Forest to head to the Dondron Flats in the next portion of the game. Just not really worth fighting anything in this area. Just they're not worth enough experience. And I would prefer not to burn a bunch of MP here, because MP items are limited, and I do need to make sure, and they're pretty tightly routed around, making sure I have just enough MP items and maybe one extra one to get through the run. Definitely there's not really much in the way of, there's no glitches and there's not really any sort of dexterity stuff, but you do have to worry about your movement and trying to avoid the dreaded getting half-tiled, or you move an extra half-tile in a direction and it ends up throwing things off and it's just like, yeah, dang it. But just grab this spirit here. And we have grabbed all the spirits here, now we're just heading for the exit, which is up here at the end of this path. And give me just a second, we'll head right over. Alright, this should be the last fight here in the forest, and now we're in Dondred Flats. And oh my gosh, this overworld actually has battles, has free spirits. And this is a really great fight. Grab this spirit, and we'll grab this spirit. So I want to get to 23 wind. That's what I need in order to one-shot the boss coming up. This is really great. 3 enemy fights are really good when 3 of the same enemy. It means they give you a lot of experience. There's 22. Just, oh, that hurt. Take some, so I should probably mention a little bit about stats in this game. So in addition to your spirits to determine your damage, you have your HP, which you gain by dealing or receiving physical damage. You have your MP, which you gain by casting magic. You have your agility, which you gain by moving around in battle. And your defense, which you gain by taking damage. So HP, unlike in Quest 64, you don't actually gain HP when you take magical damage, only physical damage. So we're going to actually have to take some physical hits later on in order to give us some HP training. Alright, there's 23. So the next thing we want to do as far as levels concerned is we want to get 4 earth and 4 water. That's going to give us healing level 1 spell, because I like having the ability to heal myself. Alright, now I should be able to, I was going to say I should be able to, but not quite. Oh. Alright, I'm going to use an HP item, because I'm getting a little low. Dun, da, da, da. Ow. That kind of hurt. And now I'll just blow them away. I should get a level here, I think. Nope, I did not. That's unfortunate. Yep, now we're gonna head on the boat. Enjoy the boat music, it's pretty good. So we meet Colleen here. And there's a pirate ship. Oh my. So Kiliak here is like, I am Kiliak the Prince. I've come to relieve you of everything about. You're just a child. Do you intend to resist? You better not. If you insist, there is nothing I can do. Oop. But I have the power of Wind 23, and... oh, he's dead. Okay, he's not dead, but he's been... So Colleen's like, so those are pirates. Lennon, chase them away. Pew! Alright, everything's good now. All is well with the world. Alright, I don't need to stay at the end because I stayed at the end earlier and I'm pretty much full on health. Oh no, it's a marrow. Miss. Yeah, you'll see that. Normal attacks don't actually really miss in this game, but buffs can. So it's pretty annoying whenever the enemies, whenever your spirit armor misses. It's really kind of leads to feels bad. Alright, so we're a spear behind where I'd like to be. I'd like to have gotten 4-4 right here, but that's okay. Ah, these are ghost hounds. They hit hard. Alright, I'm gonna have to use another HP item. HP restoratives are not quite as valuable as MP restoratives, so I have to burn a couple of them. Not a huge deal. This one will do like 15-20 damage. Right. And we'll blow them away. And we'll get a honey breath, so that's not bad. I'll take that. A remake, more a remake than a sequel. But they did make an enhanced remake for the. Oh crap! That was supposed to go into Earth. Not a huge deal. I'll get this Earth Sphere right here. Yay! I have healing. You need 4 Earth and 4 water. Owie, the skeleton's gonna hurt. Alright, so we're gonna come here to Liverpool. And we're gonna mash through some text, because of course we are. So there's some spirits here. We'll have to. So the game is. I'm not able to actually move it. It's one game's forcing me into the blue cave. But we're gonna go pick these 3 spirits up real quick because more spirits and more good. We'll pick that one up right as we enter the cave again. No. I'm gonna grab this spirit, and the next thing we want to do is we want to get to 12, or we want to get to 12 and 12, and then to 13 and 13 for wind and Earth, because that's going to get me heal 2. It's going to be Spirit Armor 1 and Spirit Armor 2, which are all spells that I'm going to use. And I think I said heal 2, but just in case I didn't, we're also going to use heal. So the path, so there's actually different pathing through here. Yep, Blue Cave is actually before Coal Hazard and Zealous in this version. But then we'll actually have to come back for Nepti. If that makes any sense. Oops. I'm not opening any cans of soda right at the moment that I'm aware of. Go ahead and use an HP and MP restoratives. Oh no, magic blocked me. That's a real jerk move. Alright, that's all we gotta do here. Oh, another spirit. Should probably pick that one up too. Now we're gonna go ahead and I did not bring any soda even for myself. I don't drink soda because sadly, well, it's not. I've been told that it's not the great for me. All right, multi-objects are what I want to see, and we're just gonna blow them away. And we're going to take those out. As I said, we're going to try to get to 1313 as quickly as possible. The other nice thing is that you can save anywhere in this game. I can save at any time I want. Well, except in battle. Can't save in battle, but anywhere outside of battle, I can just open up the menu and save. Oops. Alright, so now another multi-optics fight is good. Can go ahead and heal up a little bit more. Healing is good, I hear. Oops. Again, I don't mind burning a couple of healing items. You usually have extras anyway, so that's not a big deal. Oops, went the wrong way. Coming over here, this is the last spirit here in Blue Cave. Kind of a GBC enhanced demake retelling of Quest 64. Blow them away. We do that a lot. We blow a lot of things away. It is thankfully just one screen, and I actually have a map up. There's some maps. I actually spent some time over the last few days putting together a new speedrun guide for this game. So y'all have something to work off of if you do want to take up the challenge of Quest 64 or Quest RPG. Well, Quest RPG 64 is its own can of worms. And now we're here in Crystal Valley. We're going to mash through more text, because of course we do. Yep, time to go back to Liverpool. I will finally be able to perform my duty. Spin, 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 spin to win! No, Brian actually talks in this game. I know it's weird and disconcerting, but he does. Ride around like a record. We'll take a fresh bread. Would have really liked to see a spirit there, but, you know, can't. Beggars and choosers. So we're gonna go. That's fine. I really would have liked to take that fight, but I'm out of MP, and I definitely don't want to use a MP recovery item right in front of the heal point, because, as I said, I do need to conserve MP items. We're gonna go ahead and grab the spirit. Oh crap! I put it in fire. It's not the end of the world, but it definitely was not. That was not a good thing. Like, it's not worth, like, going back to my save point and having to walk all that back, but it definitely will cost time. was not ideal in the slightest. Hopefully I'll get some scarecrow fights that I can use to make up the lost spirit there. I'm going to intentionally take another hit from this because it'll do a lot of damage. But I do need to gain a little bit of defense. Yeah. This is good. Pew! Alright, need one more spirit. I will have 13. I hope that's enough. Yep, okay, we're good. So now I have heal 2. So we have the heal some and the heal more spells now. It's another fight that's good for a... This will actually hit quite hard. Blood jellies do a fair bit of damage. As opposed to spell heals like 15 to 19 damage. I'll put one more in Earth for a boss coming up. Ow. Their physical attacks actually do hurt. Oops. Ooh. Hello. Alright. We probably don't need any more spirits. I think we're good on levels. Alright, so you saw that my movement area got bigger. That's good. Means that I have just the agility I need. I need, by the time I get to this boss, I need to have this larger agility area. Like, normally I would, as I said, I normally wouldn't, So now we're just gonna pump into wind, or this is Game Boy Color. Retelling. So I'm gonna intentionally take some hits here. Just make sure I stay above. Alright, and we're gonna use... See, I'm gonna use some items to get myself up to full. And here's the dragon. This is a new boss they added. Oh, and we died. That's why we save. That is why we save for this fight, because sometimes the dragon just be like, I'm gonna spit fire all over your run. Yeah, save anywhere. The real nice, real nice touch. Can you beat it? I will test your power. Alright. Alright, there we go. We beat the Dargon. And there it goes. You have admirable strength to beat me. It seems that the future foreseen by the Grand Elf is surely becoming a reality. No, there was not a save anywhere in Quest 64, and I, for one, am very grateful for the fact that there is one in this game. It makes it so much more speedrun friendly. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and heal more. The next boss shouldn't be able to hit me, but just in case, I should probably be a little on the safe side. Grab our 4th Spirit Gemstone. It would be our 5th in any set, but we actually skip one early on because there's one that we can make up. Got this fresh bread. Grab another fresh bread. And we'll go here to the inn. I already did that heal. Oops. This fight's usually pretty safe, but just in case, go ahead and take a safety save, because that's always a good thing to do. Don't want the dreaded marathon lock, and we just kind of camp out here, and the attack will do absolutely nothing. Alright, and now we're going to cast Magnet Rock. Pop! And Leo's dumb is going to cast Water Pillar and not hit us if we stand above him like that, so pop. Pop. Alright, that's the fight. He has 350 health, so and any percent you just do, you get 13 Earth. And in that case, you will kill him in 5 hits, so you'll do like 82. But in all spirits, I like to get 1 more Earth so you can 4-shot him instead. Yeah, it's a kind of a runner preference thing, what you do there. Alright, we'll go ahead and talk to you. And Green Wings, we'll get 2 more spirits here in the field. Just like in 64, there's some spirits in the field. They're a lot less hidden. Go ahead and top off my HP. No, just poor AI. Item. Now we're going to head to the port. Oh, right, great, perfect. This is just the fight I wanted to see. I'm gonna use this giant shoes just to get it out of my inventory. All right, so we're gonna grind on these jerks for a while. I hope you. All right, let's get this out of my inventory. Look at how fast Brian moves. Smack. Boom. So if this were a charity event, I would totally be like, this is a great time for reading donations, but it is not, so I'm just going to say that we are going to sit around here and grind on this. We need the defense, and we need the HP that we're getting. And I don't think anybody here speaks Russian, so I don't think anybody can help. With that, But we're just sitting here taking damage, because the more damage I take, the more my max HP, and more physical hits I take, more max HP and more defense. I like both of those things. So as I said, we need to do some defense grinding before we get to the boss. Otherwise, the boss will totally, completely wreck me. But thankfully got that taken care of. Okay, got some jack-o'-lanterns. See, my max HP is up to 55. Was stuck at 50 for a while, but we're slowly going to be improving that. We do need to take a few more giant ant fights. I'd like to get closer to 62, 63 max HP for the next wow, I can't talk today. The next boss coming up at the end of this dungeon. Yeah, the sprites, they can almost one-shot you. In fact, they might actually be able to one-shot you before the defense grind, so yeah, they hurt. Thankfully, they do less damage after one defense grind. There's a lot of low damage hits. Alright, gotta pick up another spirit over here. Up. Alright. Going through forest. Hopefully we'll see some orcs, arachnoids. Hope nobody has arachnophobia. Alright, so just kind of passing through the forest. Oh, there's some orc seniors. And we will, as one would expect, blow them away. Pretty much all I'm good for. Blowing things away. Go grab another wind spirit here, because, you know, gotta keep increasing our ability to, Alright, here's another giant ant fight, good. Yeah, we're good at 18. It is a surprisingly faithful retelling of Quest 64 for the Game Boy Color. This is a game that actually exists. It is licensed, official release. What madness is this? Sorry, I mean, what Sparta is this? The only bad thing is it takes so long to cast the heal spell. Enhanced remake. There are no other runs after this one today. You know, given the limitations of the platform, I'd say they did a pretty good job of translating this game over. Ba-ba-da-bum. And if you are interested in running this game, you as in a collective you, not referring to any person in particular, I did spend some time last week putting together a guide with a lot of the stuff that you will want to know. There's a healing, if I head up that path that I skipped, that leads to a heal potion, but I don't need it. So there is a guide up there for anybody who wants to torture themselves with this game. I mean, who wants to enjoy this game and maybe try it out. Grab another spirit gemstones, another spirit. One last enemy encounter, and then oh hey, we actually one-shot the pack this time. Ray having 38 wind going into the boss. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take a safety save because, like the dragon, Zeus can be kind of a butt, and one-shot you. That's actually gonna be kind of the case for several of these bosses. So Zeus and Leo do battle, and hopefully we don't get the nasty attack. And okay, we didn't get the nasty attack. Let's put up spirit armor. Alright, defense up. Alright, now we're going to stand over here and we'll cast Wind Bomb, because if we stand right over here, I just... This is the nasty attack, but thankfully with spirit armor. I actually don't know how they compare, and we're not going to quite get a 3-shot. I need one more Wind Spirit to get a 3-shot. He has 580 health. Pop! There goes Zeus. I think that the original Game Boy is kind of on par with a NES. Maybe I think they're probably pretty comparable 8-bit systems. I know the Game Boy Advance is like pretty close to a SNES on a handheld, but I don't know how the Game Boy Color exactly stacks up to an NES. Also, we defeat Zeus. Mentioned something about eradicate. The Beargoon is trying to eradicate the Spirit Monks. Leo's like, I need to find out more about this. Layla shows up to be like, hey, this mermaid orb you got me sucks. Can you give me another one? And we're like, yeah, okay. Hey, I can use this mermaid orb to warp you to opponent. Like, well, didn't you say it's... Yeah, don't worry about it. So we're going to go ahead and go through the Stone Circle portal, and oh my gosh, it's Kiliak's ship. Remember the pirate that we fought earlier on? So he's mentioned, hey, this lake is strange. So I'm going to head to the Isle of Skye, because maybe that's got some clues. So we're like, so Kiliak's like, I guess I can let you on here, because I know you're not just some ordinary kid. And Brian's like, thanks. And Kiliak's like, oh, you're making me blush. Alright, grab the Spirit Gemstone. Yep, I'll save, or I'll heal. Or, yeah, heal, not save. Well, we'll save before the fight, and get to enjoy the boat music for just a little longer. Oh yeah, here's a winged sunfish. Pop! And we'll blow it away. Because of course we will. So this thief stole Colleen's water jewel and headed through a fissure to the bottom of the lake. It's like, well, you need somebody with a lot of power in order to break the barrier and get down there. And Brian's like, hey, I can do it. It's like, okay, we'll leave it to you. Wait, what? I have to do it now? Yep, go. You volunteered. Go get him. Brian's like, ah, crap baskets. So we, of course, have to go defeat Nepti now. I was just getting to the good part of the song too when the bass line pops up. Really sad that we don't hear more of this music. It's one of my favorite tracks in the game. Ooh, that hurt. Go ahead and make sure we stay topped up on HP. It's good, free level. Nice clean one shot. Oh yeah, those are the fish sticks. Alright, well, we're gonna actually take this giant ant fight. I do want a little bit more HP. $40, 60, 80%. So that was 80% of max HP. Maybe exile UT because it's the same person. You know, I still do run Legend of Legaia and Quest 64. Just saying. Spirit Armor level 2. Oops. Something about this D-pad is... or the, my Game Boy Color. Oh, 700 bell. Nice clean 2-shot. Oh yeah, sometimes the game crashes there. The reason why the game crashes is you have a couple of frames where you can talk to Nepti, and then it just crashes, and then it just hardlocks the game. So that's most unfortunate when that happens. Go ahead and heal up. I am playing this on a GameCube Game Boy player through the GBI application. So I'm actually capturing the feed the same way you would a console, because it's actually being played on a GameCube. So it's through the GameCube apparatus. So this is playing on official hardware. That's generally how most Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games are going to be captured, is through either a Super Game Boy or a GameCube player. But it is an official hardware that was released for the adapter that hooks onto the bottom of the GameCube. I would say this is a more enjoyable speedrun, just because it is less. The RNG is somewhat less obnoxious because you have save anywhere. Also, bosses get KO'd really fast, and guilty is actually a joke instead of a run-killing nightmare. Also, the skeleton does do 1 damage to me now. Quest 64, I mean, I still run it. I don't really run Quest 64 that much. I do still submit it to marathons and run it. I do still run it on occasion for marathons and such, but for the most part, it just doesn't really appeal to me all that much, just the RNG of it. Like, I got a time I'm happy with, and I don't really want to deal with spirit cloning glitch, because that thing is just a nightmare and a half, so I just kind of put down the game as far as, like, for a competitive sense. Like a competitive, like, grinding it out sense. I think Bing Cheng's the only Bing Cheng still runs glitched, and I think we got a couple of new people who've been running glitchless or limited glitches. Marsh EX and School AD, I think, have recently run glitchless. Gamachu did, but I think he's more LTTPR these days. And I, as I said, I kind of bring it up. I kind of bring it up for, but I don't really run it actively. I'm mostly working on sometimes this. I've actually been doing Paper Mario lately. I still do work on Legend Legaia. Legaia 2, I think I pretty much killed the category on the 31st of December when I got that 538. So just like, I might run like a new category of that that's like does more of the game than just any percent. So here's the chickens, as Gamachu would call them. So this is Limeland. We have to pick up some spirits here in Limeland. It's not a Pokemon game. I actually had somebody coming in as like a Gary Oak bot. Like, started quoting out a Gary Oak while I was playing this game. It's really weird. Everybody's like, Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon. It's like, there are other games of the Game Boy, other RPGs. Like, they do exist. You know, I think that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, because, you know, there are other games that exist out there. Yep. Alright, so we gotta go to Limeland Castle. Yes, it does have an official North American re-release. That's what I'm playing. Got one spirit to pick up here. I was just saying, it's kind of I think it's a better speed run because you have save anywhere. So I'm going to pick up a couple items. I'm going to get my 7th Spirit Gemstones here. I don't know if this game was released in Europe. So Quest 64 has 3 different names. In Japan, it's L-Tail Monsters. In North America, it's Quest 64. And in Europe, it's Holy Magic Century. The 3 different names of the N64. I don't know what it's named in. I don't know if this game has a different name in Europe. Oh, I need to go first. So this is the lottery. No. I would say so. Like, I think it's a decent run. Yep, so we're gonna spend those 7 spirit gemstones to try to get the Warrior's Cape, which gives us extra defense. This game's camera does not give you motion sickness. I'll take that as a victory. Hooray, kind of 3/4 perspective. Alright, so we're gonna be save scumming for the pigeon, and so as an act of so this game is going to literally flip me the bird. The question is only how many times it's going to do so. It's going to flip me the literal bird as a pigeon will show up to tell me, most likely, that I did not win the lottery and that I want to reset. We'll be saving a little before the cabin, so that we can save scum out until the pigeon finally awards us the goods. Because of course, as any good acolyte of speedrunning knows, that birds are of course jerks. Now I should point out that I'm that Ria is actually the person running the game and chatting to you. Zoe's just kind of managing commentary, kind of the stream commentary.
That's me. I'm behind the scenes.
Yep, there's Zoe. Hi Zoe. It's a Ria. RPG jerk bird. Yep, that was what I was going for. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick save because I'm not exactly sure when the pigeon will show up. It usually shows up if my movement is good just after the hut down there. Hi, Ria. This is another version. It's an enhanced demake, as I've often called it. Alright, so we're going to save up and let's see how many times the game's going to flip us the bird. Sorry, you didn't win. Means I got to reset. How many times can it be? Ladies, gentlemen, everybody in between and otherwise, how many times is the game going to flip us the bird? Nope. Reset. Alright, just try a different movement this time. Alright, that's 3. There's 4. Five. Yeah, allegedly it's a 1 in 7 chance, although nobody really knows. Alright, that's 5 failures. Hey, okay, 6th try. I think Unstable Dreams is the one who won. I think that was attempt 6, so congratulations. So, slightly better than average. Also, don't want to have to reset that. Alright. I say allegedly, not because I'm suggesting the code is differently. I'm saying allegedly because sometimes it feels like it's much worse than 1 in 7. Like when it's like the 22nd try, like I had the other day in practice. I'm just like, is it really 1 in 7, or am I just getting tail end RNG? Hashtag Ria think. Hashtag Ria incensed. I have an FFC called Ria Incensed, which is my channel avatar. Looking rather perturbed. Yeah, supposedly according to what the game code says, the chances of you winning are 1 divided by the number of spirit gemstones the prize costs. With the exception being that the 10 prize actually is like a 1 in 3 chance. It's just like some random note. Hello, Sail Gecko. Hey. So I'm going into Earth because there is one boss coming up where I'm going to need to use Magnet Rock, because it's another boss that's weak to Earth. It resists my cutter attacks and wind element stuff, so my cutters and wind bombs just aren't going to work very well on her. Again, how much it hates. Yep, there is definitely a game hates you component to the RNG. Good old RN Gygas coming to bend me over. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying that. Sorry, please. That was just loves to give me a trolley time. Apologies, that one just kind of slipped out. Moving on. So we're coming up on Lavar, just a minute or so. Depending on what attack Lavar does, it's going to either be like a total joke of a fight, or it can really, really troll you. He definitely has attacks that will just like completely decimate me. Oh. Gonna go ahead and this is not the attack I want to see. Alright, I didn't die, so that's a victory there. It's gonna heal up. Can you do literally anything else? I'm just gonna go for the cutter, and if he does that again, I guess I just have to reset. Alright, there's the attack I want to see. Pop! There we go. I'll be waiting for you at Bergen. Farewell. Ida. I know. All right, so I should take top path a little bit faster. All right, so moving on. I'm going to grab Spirit here. So we're coming up on Fargo now. And Fargo can definitely be a real jerk if he wants to. It's an attack that will do like 100+ damage to me. Which he thankfully did not do. That's very generous of you. Weird armor level 2. Oh, nice. So we should win this fight. Stand over here in the special spot. And to cast a wind bomb, and that's the fight. I know, when he actually decides to be cooperative and give you the first turn flame wave attack that only does 20 damage, as opposed to the attack that does 20 damage like 6 times in a row, it's pretty easy. When he's not cooperative, you reset over and over again. True, they were all pretty powerful in 64. Thankfully, they gave you the awesome power of Wind Bomb, which we're actually, by standing in that special spot, we actually make it hit twice as many times. Instead of getting 2 hits, we actually getting 4 hits, which allows us to do double damage. We pretty much don't need to do any more. We don't need to do any more grinding for fighting enemies for spirits at this point. Just take my agility where I can get it. And we are going to head out of Barragoon Tunnel and into Dindom Drive. This is an enhanced remake, so this is what I've called an enhanced demake. So they demated the game, but it's enhanced in some regards. Yes, we will be going to Shamwood, but not until a little bit later in the game. We actually have to come back here after we go to Barragoon, or after we go to Brannock. Hey, Gamma. We were talking about you earlier. Thank you for the good luck. Did it not come out in Europe? That's disappointing. No, we actually don't use. I mean, I actually don't know if we have. We don't have Avalanche. We don't actually use Avalanche. We use Wind Cutter and Wind Bomb instead in this version. We need more Fire Spirits to get Avalanche. It's an Earth Fire spell. And it's actually not that particularly good. Not that this game was so much better. I mean, it's definitely a quality of life improvement. In many respects. Yeah, and Wind was super weak in 64, but they buffed it to High Heaven. I was gonna say High something else, but I realized I probably shouldn't. Alright, so I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna tank this guy's attack, because I do a lot of damage. Right, Oh yeah, Large Cutter was actually the one good wind spell in 64. I am intentionally taking damage here because I do need to do some defense grinding for the end of the game. Otherwise, Bogus and Mammon will cause me problems. So taking the incidental damage is definitely a good thing. Unfortunately, I do have to heal a lot because the enemies do hurt me. That wind cutter, or that large cutter can be, what's it called? Does do close to 40 damage. It hurts a wee little bit. 46 is actually probably safe, but do I really want to risk it? Not particularly. Well, I don't think that the viewers are all bots. I mean, Games Done Quick does have a pretty large audience during the main events, especially. It can break 100,000 easily. I think I've even seen it top 200,000. Why is the chat dead? Well, I think a lot of people just kind of lurk during speedrunning stuff. As for why, you'd have to ask them. Alright, so this is... if he's already only doing 17 to me, and then my defense is pretty good. I'm a bot. Everybody's a bot. Beep boop. My defense should be quite good. Well, I'm using a controller. That counts as a tool, right? Test. So I took those hits there. I would like to get a little bit more. As I said, I want to get some more defense. Oh no. Orky is beeping and booping me again. She does that a lot. She does like to boot me a lot. How old is this game? It came out in Japan in 99 and US in 2000, so... it is legal in most jurisdictions. Nope. And I grab this Spirit Light. Yep, it is a GBC version of... it is the GBC enhanced demake of Quest 64. Or as I sometimes like to call it, Better Quest. It's use impaired for sure. Wind is used for primary damage dealing spells. Earth is used for the couple of times when we can't use wind because bosses resist it. Water is, we put spirits in water because we need healing and spirit armor. and fire is just kind of, it's there. Alright, so we made it to Brannock Town. Remember I said we need to see Tom later? Here he is. Here's Tom. I will give you black wings. And we're going to go on wings, get the white wings. So we're going to go back to Melrose. Remember I said earlier that we was going to be paying attention to the mailbox at the very start of the game? Well, it's time to finally go to the mailbox and pick that up. We have to go to the mailbox. There's our cape of double defense. Alright, wings. Black wings. Go ahead and get another black wings. We'll need another pair of black wings later. Now we're going to head to the inn. We're going to top off on our... Oh my. Go on the door, please, Brian. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to head to the Brannock Castle, and just like in 64 back. Oh, it did a grand spanking total of 1 damage, but the boss coming up is... Nope, the cape was not in 64. The lottery itself did not exist in Quest 64. So we're going to safety save, because this fight can definitely be a butt. Da, 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 da. Can you beat me? I will tell you everything if you can beat me. Yeah, this is not the attack I want to see. I'm gonna heal up, because healing is good. I like healing. Keeps giving me that attack, which I really don't want to see. Alright, that's good. Pew 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 pew! Alright, I should be good. There's the fight. But then LeVar is like, the real fight is from now on. I'm just getting serious now. But Sirius is back in the monastery. I know! Alright, this is the super ice cutter. It does a lot of hits. We're gonna go ahead and fresh bread up. Wink. We want to kind of get down here. He seems to use the ice knife attack more when you're down here. And pew 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 pew. And pew 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 pew, and there's the fight. Yay, we did it. Yeah, Windcutter's kind of overpowered in this game, as it turns out. Who? What? Where? When? Why? How? Whom? Whose? Who? Who? Let the dogs. Ah, good times, good times. Alright, so the monastery is up in the sky. Woo! So Leonardo saves Bart. Leonardo's like, I won't be deceived any longer. That's it, I will not tolerate it anymore. Are you resisting us? I am sick of it. What good will it do to... You're just a puppet. Yes, I was fooled, but I won't forgive you. She planned to do... Take this! Ripped Donaldo. Hi, Daz. You impertinent upstart... No! No! Brian, take care of the others. And Can we all get some Fs? Can we get some respects in chat for Brian or for Bart? Because Bart has passed. Fs in the chat for Bart. He had no choice but to do what he did to save you. We have to stop Vigus and the source of the evil power. True's music. So we have to go to the Isle of Sky and perform a rite of lights there with a sacred mirror held by and if we do that, then we can get to Brannock once again. And that will give us access to the endgame. So Flora mentions that Shilf seems to be in the desert, so we should maybe go there. Wings, I want to use black wings. Fastest way to get to the desert is to go back. Through Boil Hole. It's also going to give me the opportunity to pick up a spirit that I was not able to get my first pass through. And pretty much everything can do like 1 damage now. We should be pretty good on defense and HP for the rest of the game now. This will do like 1 damage. Like pretty much everything will do like 0 damage to me now. That's just how crazy overpowered I am. 1. Even the nasty Ghost Stalkers are doing a grand total of 1. I think their cutter will do like 6 or 7. I know, a Quest 64 remake with an actual plot and story? What madness is this? Oops, now I want to cast Exit. I actually wanted to cast Heal first, but that's fine. Not a big deal. I need to cast both. That spirit is really far out of the way, so that's the best way to get it, is to wait until you come back through Boil Hole, get it, and because it's like at the end of a dead end path, like past the exit in the other way. And now we are going to head through Boil Hole. But we're going to go ahead and, yep, Cape of Double Defense is so nice. Very beautiful. Alright, made it out of Boil Hole finally. Well, we're about to. Yep, we're going to go to Shanewood next. That is correct. Which is actually required, unlike in 64 where it's completely optional. And you just go there because, hey, there's spirits. It is totally required. Because the mirror that we need is in... the mirror that we need to get to the end game is being guarded by Shilf here in the desert. So Shilf is actually the guardian of the mirror as opposed to a servant of Mammon in this game. So there's something that got changed. Version differences. We're just gonna there is a spirit, just like in 64, there is a spirit hidden in the desert. There it is. So we want to get 50 Earth for Shill, because that's going to allow us to 4-shot her. She's got 1500 health. And we'll be able to do 350 a cast with our Magnet Rock. And here we go. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear the second half of the music. They only give us the first half of the Shaman music, but it's still good. Da-da, da-da-da-da. Yeah, we had to go through the desert, so the desert was pretty large. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Right now. Yeah, they did. They took the desert theme out of the desert. Nope. At this point, we're just going to mash everything into fire because that's the fastest way to get these last few spirits we need. These are actually the last 2 spirits we pick up in the game. Right there, those 2. Now, this is Shill. Well, that plus some battle spirits, but same difference. Magnet Rock. Pop. 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 There's the fight. Hi, Fire Splitter. Thank you for the good luck. I really appreciate it. Alright, so we gotta go grab these 2 spirits really quick. Lay down. Wings, yellow wings. We need to grab one more pair of yellow wings from Tom, who, I might remind you, is not Tom, and it's not Tim, the Dark Lord. So now we have to head to Clay. Because Flora's like, Clay and Donner might be able to reappear mirror. But then he's like, sorry, I can't do that. I actually need a dragon skill. It's like, where are we going to find a dragon? We're going to find a dragon now? Wait, there's a dragon in Cole Hazard. So we're going to go ahead and use these green wings that I've been stabbed. Like, why do we need green wings? Well, because we need to come here. We're going to go to fight the dragon. And the dragon is actually a lot weaker than... Well, actually, the dragon is stronger, but we are so much tankier that... Now the dragon's like, hey, why are you here? It's like, well, I need to get a scale for it from you. Thanks. Yeah, you can see he doesn't really do much damage anymore. Yeah, they added some backtracking. Thankfully, the power metagame knowledge. You can just grab the wings to reduce the amount of backtracking we have to do. And one more. Nice, you give us fire every time. Good, because that's fast. And there's the fight. He's at 1500 health, so almost a 4-shot, but unfortunately, just barely not enough damage. Which is kind of a baby rage, but you know what can you do? Items, we're gonna hero string. Wings, yellow wings, and now we're gonna get to the end game. We're about to fight Guilty after the cutscenes. So, Guilty is actually kind of a joke in this version. I think I said something earlier. This is also the point of no return. Once we go in here and start the end game, we can't leave until we have won. Talk later? Yeah, I would like to talk later, but... Da-da-da-da-da. Alright, so this is Guilty, and unlike in Quest 64, where he actually really kind of hurts, that was the most he could do to me. His attack is even weaker. Yeah, I too love being able to do 450 damage to a boss. Especially when Guilty's actually been powered down. He only has 1200 health as opposed to 1864. Figure that one out, why don't you? Yep, there's the entire fight. Yeah, he was a real butt in 64, but thankfully in this game he's actually quite generous. And he likes to die quickly. We wrecked him almost as hard as we wrecked Solfring. Alright, so this is King Bogus. Kind of a butt. $800. $1,000. $1,400. And $1,800. And there's the fight. Da-dum, oh, no. Alright, so now we've made it to the end. It is literally, yes, Quest 64, an enhanced demake of Quest 64 put onto a GBC cart. Now we have World of Mammon. Alright, our defense is pretty good if we're only taking one from the large cutter there. And yeah, Quest 64 actually this is Quest 64 enhanced demake given an actual plot and then stuffed onto a GBC cart. I forgot I need to clarify that point. Okay, yeah, our defense is very nice. I would say we've probably got 5 to 6 more minutes left in this run. Just to make sure that y'all RIA streamers are aware. Oh, that was wrong. Yeah, we're very close to the end. Don't worry. Well, unless Mammon is the most ridiculous of trolls, we should be able to. I think we'll meet the estimate. We'll see. So take a heal. Very close to the end. We got this last checkerboard room. Which, this is faithful to 64. There are 2 identical checkerboard rooms in 64 in the World of Mammon. Of course, in 64 they didn't have encounters, but they put encounters in this version. Just to troll us some more. Add some fun units, if you will. Yeah, the Judgments have 0 speed, so you actually outspeed them. Plus 64. That is a strange. That is a strange sentence. Somebody loving Quest 64? I don't understand that. I mean, it's not horrible, but loving the game, that is a tough bridge. Alright. Now we have the last rooms, the Spirit of Stone. Shannon's like, here, you have the L-Tail book and the 4 jewels. Now you can totally get through here and get to the dark jail. Spirit of Stone's like, hey, I can heal you up one more time. There's the last chance we get for a heal. And now it's on to Mammon's room, and yes, there are more encounters in this room, so Baby Rage. But I don't think Quest 64 is as bad as people give it credit, quote unquote, for. It's not the worst game ever made. It's no, I don't know, I just want to force a fight just to make sure we don't get into one after I heal up and save. Alright, so this is the final boss. Hopefully Mammon doesn't decide to troll me so much. We'll see. Alright, that is not... Whoops. I do want to put up Spirit... Oh, that's the wrong spell. No, Quest 64 was demade into... Spirit Armor 2. All right, we're going to heal potion. I need to cast this 5. I need to cast Wind Cutter a total. Up there's the hyper laser. Ow, it hurt. That's 2. When I cast it the 6th time, then I win. That's 3. And 4. And 5. One more, so get ready. It'll be just a few seconds. And time. I have to read this because it's beautiful. Long ago, the 4 nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when Mammon attacked. Only the magician Brian, master of all 4 elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed up and it's up to me and my brother. Quest 64, 2. Also, we kind of actually get an ending instead of just 6 lines of dialogue and then cut to black, basically. Oh my gosh, Flora, Kiliak, and Brian are all okay, I think. What's this? What's happening? I've lent you a hand there. It seems your friends have arrived. Well, I'm gonna go now. Mona's like, peace this, I'm out. World is saved. We have returned. Yay, we did it. Flora, Kiliak, Colleen, and Leo. The legendary master of spirit tamers. This is the story of the magic heart, one of the stories in L-Tale and one of the fables of the spirit. The story of Brian, for the time being, ends here.
Awesome. That was a fantastic run. Thank you so much, Ria. I really appreciate having you on the show.
What was the time?
By my timer, 1:48:24.
So that was 56 seconds off world record.
Not bad. Jeez.
Darn you, Pigeon. If you had been like second try Pigeon, it probably would have been world record.
That's the way it goes some days. Well, so just like I asked Demarine earlier, if there are people interested in getting into this speed run, what would you suggest for new runners?
I would suggest spending some time with the maps that are linked in the guide that's on SRC to get acquainted with those maps and kind of get acquainted with the layouts of everything. Because I would say overall, the there's no glitches that you have to learn. There's not really any dexterity component. It's just routing, and the route is pretty simple. It's mostly, for the most part, it's cast wind spells, heal when you need to, and GG, you win. So it's not a particularly hard thing to know. It's just about like knowing how much you need to heal, how much you need to defense grind, kind of like what kind of HP and defense ranges and stuff you're looking for. And knowing where the spirits are, like, because even if you just do any percent, which is a little bit different. I mean, you don't really pick up many of the spirits in Limeland. You don't go back to Solvering's hut for the spirits there. A couple other things. The route in Blue Cave is a little different because you skip a couple of spirits and you have to get a spirit gemstones that are in one of the chests that we skip in all spirits because you pick up the one in Limeland instead. So there's a few things that you have to. There's a few things that you have to be, mindful of. There are some differences between 80% and all spirits, but for the most part, it's just knowing where you're going, because the more steps you take, the more fights you get. The more fights you get, that's wasting more time. So overall, I'd say the big thing is and I still use the maps myself when I'm running to kind of make sure I know exactly which way to turn, so I'm not taking unnecessary steps. But other than that, just kind of read the notes. I did make a mistake in the notes. I'll have to go back in the speedrunning guide notes on SRC. Basically, after Water 13, don't bother putting more levels into it, because it doesn't actually affect your healing like I think it does. In 64, the more water spirits you have, the more you heal for. It's not the case in Quest RPG. It's just a function of your max HP. So, So yeah, that was a mistake. I'll have to at some point when I'm less lazy go back and fix that. But overall, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a hard game to learn. I think it's definitely something that you could pick up. And I mean, I don't think you're going to necessarily world record on your first go or anything. Like that's asking a little much. But I definitely think you could pull a 2 to 2:15 run pretty quickly if you. You might want to do a little bit of extra grinding. I do a little bit more grinding than you strictly need to, just to make the last couple of bosses a little bit to make the last couple of bosses more consistent. So you're not like because if you don't do that grind with the Ghost Stalkers and the White Rose Knights that I did in Barragoon and Boilhole, then you're like at the mercy of getting the Hyper Laser turn 1 from Mammon and then hoping that Barrier holds up long enough. And I've lost multiple minutes and multiple runs to that just not happening over and over again. So I definitely think that taking a little bit of time for that grind, at least so you can survive the steam laser attack, even if you're not going to survive the missiles, I think that's definitely something that you should consider because it makes it a lot more likely that you can get through that last boss, because he's kind of, as I said, kind of likes to sometimes kick you in the buttocks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So thank you all for all that info, and again, thanks for the run. We are going to do a raid here in a moment, but just before that, I do want to recap some of the announcements I made at the beginning. So on Monday, we have Community Spotlight. It's going to be the Witcher 3 anniversary, so that's going to be very exciting. You should watch that. And today was the first episode of Runners Wanted, but we also have 2 other shows debuting next week. We have Game Masters next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Tina's RPG Show, I guess? That's actually the name of the show. It's going to be fantastic. And then just one more thing. Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions, so please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. We're going to go over to a quick ad and then into that raid. So this person is a gem of a person, and I hope you really enjoy hanging out there. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday.